Weidman, 9-0 in his mixed martial arts career. A two-time Division I All-American wrestler at Hofstra, a two-time junior college All-American, Grappler's Quest champion, longtime student of Ray Longo and Matt Serra. And they told both you and I, when he first burst on the scene, watch for this kid, because he is something special.
I've never heard Matt Serra give someone as much praise as I've heard him give Chris Weidman. The way he talks about this guy, the way this guy performs in the training room, and the performances that we've seen inside the octagon have indicated this is a special athlete.
Chris Weidman steps into the Bud Light, Prep Point Bud Light. Here we go. And also, he's very confident coming in, something you talked about in the open of the show. So many men, before they walk through that gate, have already been defeated by Anderson Silva. Chris Weidman says, that's not the case with me.
Whether or not that confidence makes any sense, we're going to find out in about 10 minutes.
Yes, we are.
But I'll tell you this, what we've seen from him inside the octagon is exceptional. What we've seen from him in the training room is even more exceptional. He believes that his best is yet to come, and the conventional wisdom is that if Anderson Silva wanted to fight Chris Weidman, now's the time instead of a year from now.
Yes.
Because he's getting better every minute of every day. And at 29 years of age, he's a young man. And at 38 years of age, one of the things you have to think about with a great champion like Anderson Silva is when does Father Time catch up with him?
Could it be tonight? We will find out as Chris Weidman gets the opportunity he has been very patiently waiting for, the opportunity to be a UFC champion. Joe, in every sport, there are exceptional athletes, and there are special all-stars who are better than the rest. But very few times do we truly see what we see with Anderson Silva. Somebody who does things that no one else does in his particular sport.
He's just the best mixed martial arts fighter I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen the greatest fights of all time, live, in person. This is the best. It's such an honor to be able to watch this guy fight, because what we're seeing is, you and I have been working for the UFC for a long time, and one of the things that we've seen is a massive evolution of the martial arts itself. This is the best example of that. He is the best example of what is possible. What is possible in the 21st century with modern training techniques and all the knowledge that's been accumulated all over the years. That's the best. He's the fastest. He's got the most accurate strikes. He's got the most well-rounded game. He takes the least amount of damage, and he has had the most spectacular results.
16-0 inside the octagon. 9 men have failed to bring down the champion at 185. The list of records is long. the title defenses. He's going for number 11, a UFC record here tonight. But it's what he does and how he does it. That's what makes watching Anderson Silva fight so truly fascinating.
His highlight reel is like no one else's.
Yes.
And it's against elite fighters like Vitor Belfort, spectacular front kick knockout to the face. The way he took out Chael Sonnen in their second fight. The way he stopped Stephan Bonner in Brazil. The way he crushed James Irvin and Forrest Griffin. He's just a really special athlete, and it's just a real treat to get a chance to see a guy like this fight inside the octagon.
11-0 in championship fights. The middleweight title last changed hands in October of 2006 when Anderson Silva defeated Rich Franklin. A UFC record 12 post-fight bonuses. He won the belt in his second UFC fight. He brings it in the octagon with him tonight. He plans on leaving with it around his waist. He is the champion, the greatest. Anderson, the Spider Silva. Our tale of the tape for this, our main event of the evening, is brought to you by The Wolverine, starring Hugh Jackman, in theaters July 26th. Silva, 38 years old, as Joe mentioned. Chris Weidman, just 29 years old. Everything else is virtually identical. With the official introductions, once again, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Bud Light. Here we go. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, with Chairman Bill Brady, Executive Director Keith Kazar, Commissioners Francisco Aguilar, Skip Avancino, TJ Day, and Pat Lundvall. Our three judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Marcos Rosales, Adelaide Bird, and Patricia Morse-Jarman. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Herb Dean. This bout is sponsored by Bud Light. Here we go. Powered by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram, and Metro PCS 4G for all. And now, this is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a wrestler and a grappler, holding an undefeated professional record, 9 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Baldwin, New York, presenting the challenger, Chris Weidman. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a Muay Thai kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record, 33 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 184 pounds. Fighting out of Curitiba, Brazil, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Anderson, the Spider Silva!
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Let's touch gloves and make it official. Or not.
Or not. Anderson Silva. Chris Weidman. UFC Middleweight Championship is on the line.
Ready. Let's do it.
Tag Squad brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go. Anderson Silva in the yellow and black trunks like always. Blue trunks for Weidman. Look for early takedown attempts.
A lot of questions are going to be answered. Whether or not Weidman can hang with Anderson on the feet, whether he can defend against the shots, and whether or not Anderson can keep Weidman off him.
As we know, Anderson often early calculates what his opponent is going to do.
Deep shot, and he's got him down. Very nicely done. Wow, that was a quick takedown.
Anderson from the bottom
is very good off of his back. And that's something to think about. Not just defensively, but offensively. A lot of people don't recognize how high level his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game is, but it is very high level. But Weidman is a special kind of beast.
And he's trying to pour it on here. In the half guard. Looking to do some damage to Silva. Did not take long for the champion to be put on his back. Weidman able to posture up a bit here, Joe.
He's not landing clean shots, but he's landing shots. Anderson's doing a fairly good job of deflecting them, but he's not controlling the posture. Now he is. But now Weidman is concentrating on passing. And he's back in the guard. Got to be very careful of these up kicks.
Absolutely. Or that shot towards the knee that Anderson just kind of threw with his leg.
If Weidman goes in, what he wants to do is figure out some way to get... Oh,
that's a good shot right there.
Very good shot.
From the bottom, Silva. Weidman trying to spin around.
Spun around. He's going for a leg. But he could lose this position. He's not deep enough to get a heel hook. He's got to get closer to Anderson. Now he's pretty deep. Oh, that's nasty.
Trying to work on it. Spinning is Silva.
But he's got to be careful that he loses the position.
Interesting start.
Chris Weidman was hands down.
Anderson's going to start to check out the timing of Weidman's striking. He's the master at that. Sizing up an opponent and then pouncing and finishing.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Interesting. Again. Wow, big shots there by Weidman.
Up against the cage is what he did against Stephan Bonner.
Anderson, though, utilizing the underhooks, keeping Weidman off of him. Not allowing Weidman to get an effective clinch. But Weidman's got to be careful of the knees here.
He's one of a kind. And there's the knee, Joe.
He landed that one. Wow, this is crazy.
Listen to this crowd. Anderson opening up now.
Good leg kick by Anderson.
Quick jab.
This is not what Weidman wants to do. He does not want to get in a kickboxing bout for his ego. He's got to be very careful with this game he's playing here. If he can take Anderson down, he should take Anderson down.
Yeah. Anderson continues to calculate with the stand-up game.
So far, good movement by Weidman. Again, hard leg kicks by Anderson. Wow. He's telling him to kick it, so this is crazy. And that's got to mess with your head, man.
Yeah. This is why he's so special.
He's not even attempting to take him down. This is a huge mistake. Or not. Well, what do I know? I just got to think while Anderson's standing straight up like that. Oh, he just kissed him. How do you not love that guy?
Calm down, calm down. Breathe. Calm down. You know what you're doing. Take it easy.
I want you to punch a hole in his fucking chest. That's what I want. Everything else is good. Don't get careless. You're looking good.
Nice work on the ground. When you get the hot guard, try to get chest to chest more.
How do you feel on the floor? Anything you feel? Deep. Come on, give me your deep, man. See that white leg? Come on, baby. Come on, Whiteman.
Very interesting first round. I don't know what Anderson's saying. Come on, he's saying, come on, man. Boy, this is a tough place to be in your 10th professional fight.
Round 2. Bring it. I like Ray Longo's. Ray Longo saying, punch a hole in his chest. You got to catch him.
Anderson looks like he's having fun in there.
Absolutely. Weidman with more strikes so far. That was with some ground and pound.
I'm just shocked that Weidman hasn't attacked. There it is.
There it is.
Anderson stuffed it. Stuffed it. Stuffed it.
That could be very
Nice
problematic
talking.
if that's the case.
Remember, the last time we saw Anderson taunt an opponent like this was Damian Maia. And he put on a show for the first few rounds and then completely coasted for the last 2.
Head kick.
The speed difference.
Yeah.
Wow, he tried a crescent kick on him.
Anderson. Oh my, he got hit. Looking to finish it. It is all over. Chris Weidman is the UFC middleweight champion.
My goodness. Oh my goodness.
He has done it.
Wow. You can't play games in the octagon. You can't get cocky, even if you're Anderson Silva. Man! Unbelievable. Wow.
Chris Weidman.
He didn't respect Weidman's punching power, and Weidman cleaned his clock.
Fight replay brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go.
Here it is again. Left hook, and he pretends to be hurt, but this one hurts. Boom! On the chin. Anderson's hurt. That one finishes him off. He's out cold. Look at that. There's something you didn't think you'd see. Chris Weidman just knocked Anderson Silva out cold. He got silly. He didn't respect his opponent, and he paid for it with his consciousness. Let's see it again. Boom! On the chin, caught him flat. Both legs parallel. And he has no idea what's going on. He's reaching up for Herb Dean while Chris Weidman celebrates the fact that he is the new UFC champion. Look at this. Left hook on the chin. The eyes roll back. And Anderson at this point, if he's aware, realizes he made a huge mistake. Out of all the crazy things we've seen inside the octagon, that might be the craziest.
I am still in shock and disbelief that it was ended by a knockout for Chris Weidman, who is the new UFC middleweight champion of the world. With the official decision Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 18 seconds of the second round. Declaring the winner and new UFC middleweight champion of the world, Chris Weidman.
Unbelievable.
I am here with the new UFC middleweight champion of the world, Chris Weidman. Chris, you dreamed about this moment. You trained for this moment. Does this even feel real?
You know, this is. I felt I was destined for this, but still, it felt like a little far-fetched. I imagined doing it a million times in my head, but for it to actually happen, it still feels surreal. Thank God. The only way this could have happened is God. He's the unbeatable freaking Bruce Lee of mixed martial arts. And thank God he gave me the power to do it.
Chris, I want you to look up at the big screen and I want you to tell me what you were thinking when he was clowning, when he was dropping his hands and pretending to be hurt. What was going through your mind?
You know, Ray Longo, we brought in guys to kind of play with me and do certain things during the camp to try and mess with my head. I was ready for it. You know, it pisses me off when someone tries to do that to me. And I just knew little by little I'm going to creep on him, and when he's sleeping, I'm going to get him.
Let's take a look at it again. The big left hook is what clipped him. He starts dropping his hands. He pretends he's hurt, and this one hurts him. Boom, on the chin.
No one's invincible, and hey, I just got to say all respect to Anderson Silva. I would love to do a rematch if that's what he would want to do. He was an idol of mine. I didn't like to say it during the camp, but I looked up to that guy for a long time.
Chris, congratulations on one of the most spectacular performances I've ever seen in all the years of watching mixed martial arts. Congratulations, sir. Chris Weidman, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris Weidman is the champion. Here's Joe.
All right, I am here with the former champion, Anderson. Very gracious in your applauding for Chris Weidman. Anderson, you were playing, you were dropping your hands and taunting him, and you got caught. Tell us how you feel about that now.
Brincando com ele e ele acertou golpe. Fala como você está sentindo.
I working hard for this fight. I respect my fans in UFC. The fan is here tonight. I respect USA because my big dream is working. I changed my life. I changed the life of my family because I live in the United States. I need to say thank you for Lorenzo, for Trita Brothers, for Dana White, for Joe Silva. Chris Weidman tonight is the best. He's the new champion. Chris have my respect because Chris is the best now. Chris is the best. I working hard, but Chris win. Hey, people, God bless you, all the people tonight. Thank you, America, for changing my life, change my coach. I working hard. Chris is new champion. That's it.
That's it. Anderson, would you like to have a rematch with Chris Weidman?
No, Chris is the champion now. Chris, I need you. All the people tonight, I need you to respect Chris. Chris is the best. That's it. I finished my working. I don't fight more for the belt. I changed my life now because I working hard for a long time. I have the belt for a long time. I'm tired. I relax now. I back for my family. Chris is new champion. Chris, I need to respect people. That's it.
Are you retiring now? Is that what you're saying?
No. I have 10 more fights, but I don't fight more for the belt. I'm tired. I fight for a long time. My legacy for the belt is finished tonight. Chris is the new champion.
When you say that you won't fight for the belt, but you will continue to fight, does that mean you'll still fight at middleweight? Will you fight at light heavyweight? Do you have other plans? I mean, it sounds like you have plans.
My plan now is back for my family, is back for my students, and relax, and back for Brazil. I respect my fans in here, my fans in Brazil. I need to say one more time, thank you, United States, because I changed my life. I changed the life of my family. And I live in here now. I respect all the people in here. Brasil, eu tentei. O Chris é o novo campeão e ele tem que ser respeitado. É isso.
Anderson, you were very gracious in defeat, and thank you very much for an incredible career. It's been a privilege watching you perform. Thank you very much, sir.
The nearly 7-year reign as champion is over. It ends tonight at the hands of Chris Weidman. Tonight's Anderson Silva-Chris Weidman fight has been presented by Muscle Farm, fueling athletes safely. Mutual respect shown between the new champion and the former champion. Anderson Silva got knocked out, and Chris Weidman leaves with the middleweight belt around his waist. Unbelievable. Anderson was starting to get in that zone where we have seen him so many times where he just toys with his opponent, but this time he got caught.
He was playing. I mean, that's really what it was. You can't play in the octagon against professional cage fighters. Even when you're the best, if you don't respect your opponent, if you don't respect the sport bites you in the ass. And that's what we saw tonight. And we saw it from the greatest fighter in the history of the sport. It just shows you that every man is mortal. It shows you that the rules that we apply, that we say, hey, this is serious, this is dangerous, respect it. Those rules apply to every man, including the greatest mixed martial artist that we've ever seen.
Ray Longo said, put your fist through his chest. Instead, he put his fist on the chin, and he ended the fight.
I mean, it's looking at it as an objective martial artist. Anderson did a terrible thing. He dropped his hands. He squared up with him where both of his feet were parallel. I mean, you never do that. He leaned back, trying to use just his reflexes and his movement to get away from a guy who's determined to knock him senseless. He disrespected Chris Weidman's talent is what he did.
He put himself in harm's way.
He certainly did, and he did in a way that he probably didn't have to do. If he was fighting like he fights when he fights a guy like Vitor Belfort, when he fights a guy that's a dangerous striker, or who he thinks is, he would have never done that. I mean, what he did was he was clowning around. I mean, it's almost a shame that he lost the title that way, but in another sense, I think it's an important lesson for young fighters, that even the greatest fighter in the world can't do things like this. You can't do this. No one ever tells you, put your feet parallel and lean back with your hands down and your chin straight up in the air. You'll be fine. No one says that. They say, keep your hands up, keep one foot back, move to the side, always. What Anderson Silva did is textbook wrong stuff. Textbook wrong technique, textbook hubris.
And because of that, he is defeated for the first time since January of 2006, and that man is the new champion.
And the first time ever by KO.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen Anderson lose. We saw him lose in Pride. He lost to Ryo Chonan. He lost to Takahashi. We saw him lose before, but we never saw that.
And I think that's the thing, Joe, and it was because of what Anderson was doing that he left himself vulnerable. That's the thing that has you and I so shocked, though, is not that he was defeated, but that he was knocked out.
Yes. When he lost to Kasi, he lost by a triangle. It was back when he wasn't that good of a grappler. The Ryo Chonan fight, he had problems with his leg and he got heel hooked. It was a brilliant move by Ryo Chonan, but it was a tap out. It was a submission finish. What this was something that we never expected. We never expected that Chris Weidman would catch him, and we never expected that Anderson would get caught clowning. He's done it to so many different fighters. I mean, how many times has he fought like that? What he did with Stephan Bonner, you know, what he did with Forrest Griffin, standing there with his hands down, what he did even with Rich Franklin, putting his hands down, bobbing and weaving side to side like that. It's a psychological ploy, but it's really not the way to fight.
It cost him dearly tonight because the belt is now around the waist of the All-American Chris Weidman.
I can't believe what we just saw.
I'm still in shock and disbelief. I really am. Coming up next, we've got some more great heavyweight action inside the octagon as Joe and I sit here and try to think about what the heck just happened.
Get
Gabriel Gonzaga is best known for his vicious head kick knockout of Mirko Cro Cop. And tonight, he will look to do more of the same against Dave Herman. Set to go. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Heavyweight collision.
Are you ready, Gabriel? Are you ready, Gabriel? Fight!
And we are underway.
Very interesting, Mike. We saw Renzo Gracie in the corner of Gabriel Gonzaga, sort of reinforcing the idea that he's concentrating on his submissions.
He lives in the Massachusetts area, so to get towards New York, there's a big right hand early on, and it is all over. I guess you don't need jiu-jitsu tonight, Big Gabriel. Wow.
You're done. No, I'm not kidding.
Man, just like that.
That was one of the fastest knockouts in the heavyweight division's history. I mean, that had to be under 10 seconds.
Herman in disbelief.
I guess he threw a couple kicks, so maybe it was more than 10 seconds. Boom! Man, beautiful counter right hand. Inside leg kick by Herman. Oh, right on the button. And then follow-up punches. Boy, who assigned a small person like Kim Winslow to deal with these two gorillas? She had a really hard time getting Gonzaga off of him here. You see this? Bam, bam, bam. I mean, Herman trying to defend himself. You know, he was definitely hurt and stunned.
Big finish for Gabriel Gonzaga. Here's Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Kim Winslow's called a stop to this contest at 17 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, Gabriel Nepal Gonzaga.
I am here with the winner, Gabriel Gonzaga. What a knockout. The 4th fastest in the history of the UFC's heavyweight division. Just a brilliantly placed right hand. We saw you come into this fight heavier than you've ever been before. Have you been doing a lot of strength training?
Yeah, a lot of training with my coach, Iberreis, Marco Alva, and they are helping me a lot. We also would like to say thanks for Renzo Gracie. He's my corner here. The legend of BJJ helping me here. So, really happy with that.
You had said that you wanted to concentrate on jiu-jitsu now in your career, and one of the reasons why I'm sure you brought Renzo Gracie with you, but when you land a right hand like this, you don't need jiu-jitsu. Let's take a look at this right hand. Perfectly placed. You countered the inside leg kick right over the top on the money.
Yeah, definitely. I trained this a lot with my coach, Iberreis, but I also was really prepared for a ground game too. So need to be prepared in the whole game right now.
Congratulations on a spectacular performance. Gabriel Gonzaga, ladies and gentlemen.
Gabriel Gonzaga with that finish has now taken sole possession of 2nd place in heavyweight history with 10 total knockdowns and submissions, one behind Frank Mir. So he moves up in the record books. By the way, Todd Duffy with a 7-second knockout. That's the heavyweight record. UFC 162, Silva versus Weidman, has been brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram, MyUltimatePoker.com. Visit to win your ultimate UFC experience. And by Tap Out, official lifestyle apparel of the UFC. Available at tapout.com. Joe, there were some great performances tonight. First of all, I'm still in shock and disbelief. You and I were just talking off camera.
Absolutely in disbelief. Yeah. And, you know, one thing that comes to mind in considering this is something that Matt Hughes said to me when I interviewed him after he lost the belt. And he said it was a relief.
Yeah.
He said the first time he lost the belt, he was like, you know what? Quite honestly, it was a relief. And it was a beautiful moment where Matt was being completely honest and in a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
He lost the fight. He said the reality is that the pressure of being the champion and having all these people coming after you all the time, having it over was a relief.
And Anderson kind of said that to you. That's what he was trying to say.
I think we can't even fathom the kind of pressure that a man must be under when he's not just a champion, but the greatest champion in the history of the sport. The idea of that. the idea of carrying around the weight of that title is probably mind-numbing. I mean, I think Anderson Silva carried it brilliantly for a long time, but I think there's
Nearly
a
7
reason
years.
why fighters have a span, and when that span is over, you can only redline that engine for so long before you just don't want to do it anymore.
Well, we had some great fights tonight and some great performances. Cub Swanson was great. Mark Munoz did an excellent job. And Frankie Edgar got himself back in the win column.
He certainly did. And what a great fight, both on Frankie Edgar's part and Charles Oliveira. Looked fantastic. Both guys very good tonight. It was just a beautiful technical fight where Frankie Edgar really started laying it to him in the third round, had him staggered. Oliveira, though, constantly threatened, used some great Muay Thai, threatened with jiu-jitsu. It was a really fun, fast-paced fight, and for Frankie, a huge relief and a huge reward. Finally, he gets back in the win column after 3 really close fights.
Yeah, congratulations to Frankie Edgar. Both these men, huge factors at 145. And, of course, the title's going to be on the line soon with Jose Aldo in Brazil at 145. Frankie'd like to get right back in line.
Yeah, certainly. And, of course, at 145 tonight, we also saw Cub Swanson put on one of the most impressive performances I've seen in a long time. He just looked sensational tonight against a beast in Dennis Seaver. And Cub just looked, the combination that Cub Swanson landed to finish that fight was just absolutely outrageous. He's got this wild, crazy, open style, and it is so fun to watch. But man, he's so accurate too. It's not just wild, it's skillful. Wild, skillful, and fast. And when he tagged Dennis Seaver here with this right hand and had him hurt, what a barrage of shots that he landed to finish this fight. Just a sensational, sensational fight for Cub Swanson. As good as he's ever looked, and I think he's getting better still.
Cub Swanson, Frankie Edgar somewhere very soon, perhaps.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. There's so many great fights. And don't forget, of course, the bully, Ricardo Lamas, who's a fantastic fighter at 145 pounds. Chen Sung-jung, who's going to be challenging for the title. The Korean Zombie, who's also a fantastic fighter. And Jose Aldo, of course, at the top of the heap, is one of the baddest of the bad.
And speaking of bullies, that's what ended up happening to Tim Boetsch. He ended up getting bullied by Mark Munoz, the Filipino wrecking machine, in the second and third round. I mean, he was spectacular.
He really was. It was one of the best performances of his excellent career. Munoz showed up motivated, in shape, and really, really aggressive in this fight. Fantastic ground and pound, some of the best ground and pound to the body we've ever seen, even to the thigh. Like, he's blocking those shots to the thigh. They hurt so much with those punches. Munoz is just on point tonight. He out-wrestled Boetsch, and he absolutely Donkey Konged him when he got him to the ground, to borrow his phrase.
Yes, indeed. And rewarding to Mark, who admitted he had gone through so much mentally after the disappointment at the hands of the new champion, Chris Weidman.
Yeah, I mean, he really did have a resurgence tonight, and he's such a great guy. It was really cool to watch him win.
You know what? Tonight was just something I don't think we thought we were going to see because of the way it happened. Anderson Silva, like any man, can be defeated. But the way he was defeated, and we'll watch it again, is still shocking to you and I.
You know, someone just said to me, do you feel cheated? One of our camera guys said that. And I say no. And I say this is one of the reasons why. Because I think that's an important lesson for fighters. I think it's an important lesson for martial artists, period. Yeah, it's cute to drop your hands like Roy Jones Jr. used to do and then punch a guy and knock him out. That's all cute. But the reality is that's not the correct way to fight, and this is a dangerous, dangerous game. And when you want to do stuff like this and clown and pretend you're hurt and you leave your chin out there and you smile at a guy like Chris Weidman, what's going to happen is what happened, and that's Chris Weidman clips you on the chin and puts you in la-la land right there. We didn't think we would see it happen, but we saw it happen, and I don't think it's a good thing for Anderson. I love Anderson Silva. He's my favorite fighter of all time. Still, Anderson Silva will go down in history as one of the greatest martial artists ever. I believe the greatest, but I think this is good. I think this is good for the sport. I think this is good for young fighters. I think this is good for martial arts, period. Don't fight like that. It's a dangerous, dangerous game. You're putting your health on the line. You are putting your health at risk when you compete. And when you put yourself in a position where you can possibly get hurt, where you wouldn't normally be in that vulnerable position, I think that's a good lesson for everyone who observes it.
This does not take away from the greatness of Anderson Silva, from the magical moments we have witnessed with Anderson inside the octagon. It is simply someone who played around like you.